Shalom, my friends. Let me tell you about a man who became one of the wealthiest people in human history, not by inventing the next iPhone, not by creating a social media empire, not by launching rockets into space, but by doing something that most people would consider mind-numbingly boring. His name is Warren Buffett. And while the world was chasing Tesla, Facebook, Google, and Microsoft, while everyone was looking for the next big tech breakthrough, Warren was quietly building his fortune in businesses that most people wouldn't even notice. Insurance companies, railroads, candy manufacturers, furniture stores. Boring businesses. And today, he's worth over $100 billion. But Warren Buffett is not alone. There are thousands of people, families, and companies that have built massive wealth not by chasing trends, not by trying to be the next Elon Musk, but by mastering what I call the power of boring. And today, I want to share with you this ancient secret, this timeless strategy that has been hiding in plain sight for centuries. Because while everyone else is gambling on the next big thing, you can be building real, lasting, compounding wealth in businesses that will never make headlines, but will always make money. This is not just a business strategy. This is a spiritual principle. It is about humility over ego, substance over flash, long-term thinking over instant gratification. And if you can master this principle, if you can put your ego aside and embrace the power of boring, you will not just build wealth, you will build freedom. Let me start with a story from our tradition. In the Talmud, there is a teaching about a man named Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa. He was one of the holiest men of his generation, a miracle worker, a man who could pray and bring rain, who could heal the sick with his words. But how did he make a living? He was a shoemaker. He spent his days bent over leather, stitching soles, repairing sandals. Boring work, humble work, work that no one would write songs about or make movies about. But here is the beautiful part of the story. Hard to get motivated to do it. Third, it's easy to predict demand and price. And fourth, the business will be here 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now. Let me give you some examples. Self-storage facilities. People have stuff. They need a place to put it. They pay monthly rent. It's predictable, it's boring, and it's incredibly profitable. Parking lots. People have cars. They need a place to park them. They pay by the hour or by the month. Simple, boring, profitable. Waste management. People create garbage. Someone has to take it away. They pay for the service. It's not glamorous, but it's necessary, and it's recession-proof. Car washes. People have cars. Cars get dirty. They pay to get them clean. Boring, profitable, predictable. Portable toilet rentals. Construction sites need bathrooms. Outdoor events need bathrooms. They rent them by the day or by the week. It's not a business you would brag about at a dinner party, but it's a business that can make you rich. Commercial cleaning services. Offices get dirty. Someone has to clean them. They pay monthly contracts. It's steady, it's boring, and it scales beautifully. Now, let me tell you about the Kohler family. You probably know their name from the toilets and sinks in your bathroom, but you probably don't know their story. The Kohler Company started in 1873, not as a bathroom fixture company, but as a manufacturer of farm tools. Boring, practical, necessary. Over the decades, they evolved, they adapted, They found new markets. They started making bathtubs, then toilets, then sinks, then faucets. Today, the Kohler family is worth billions of dollars. Billions. From toilets. And here is the key insight. Boring businesses are not just profitable in the short term. They compound over time. This is the secret that Warren Buffett discovered, the secret that has made him one of the wealthiest men in history. Boring businesses compound. Let me explain what I mean by startup. These businesses might have higher margins in the short term, but they require constant maintenance, constant innovation, constant reinvention. The clients you have today might be gone next year. The product that's hot today might be obsolete tomorrow. You are not building a snowball. You are juggling flaming torches, and eventually you will get burned. In the Torah, there is a verse in the book of Proverbs. Ish chacham ya'ale oz. A wise man ascends through strength. But what kind of strength? Not the strength of flash or brilliance or innovation, the strength of consistency, the strength of reliability, the strength of doing the same thing well, day after day, year after year, decade after decade. This is why boring businesses are so powerful. They are built on the foundation of human necessity, not human desire. People might stop wanting the latest gadget, the trendiest fashion, the coolest app, but they will always need a place to store their stuff. They will always need a place to park their car. They will always need someone to take away their garbage. These needs are timeless, recession-proof, and predictable. But here is the problem. Here is why most people never build boring businesses, even though they know, deep down, that they are the smart choice. The problem is ego. Our ego wants us to be recognized. Our ego wants us to be admired. Our ego wants us to be the next Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg. Our ego does not want us to be the guy who owns the storage facility or the woman who runs the car wash. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to answer honestly. If I could guarantee you that you would make $1 million a year, but you would have to give up everything you are doing right now and start a portable toilet rental business, would you do it? Think about it. $1 million a year, financial freedom, the ability to provide for your family, to give to charity, to live the life you want. But you would have to tell people at parties, I rent out portable toilets for a living. I bet your brain is already making excuses. Where people who want to be admired. They are the people who want to be free. In the Talmud, there is a teaching. Gadon hanechene miyagia kapav. Great is the one who benefits from the work of his hands. Notice it doesn't say great is the one who invents something revolutionary or great is the one who becomes famous. It says great is the one who benefits from his work, the one who creates value, the one who serves others, the one who builds something that lasts. This is the spiritual foundation of boring businesses. They are not about ego. They are about service. They are about meeting real needs, solving real problems, creating real value. And when you create real value, the world rewards you with real wealth. Let me give you another example. There is a company called 3M. You probably know them for Post-it notes and Scotch tape. Boring products. Products so ordinary that you never think about who makes them. But 3M is a $100 billion company. They make billions of dollars every year selling sandpaper, tape, and sticky notes. Products that have been around for decades. that will be around for decades more, that require no marketing genius, no viral campaigns, no celebrity endorsements, just consistent quality and reliable distribution. Or consider Waste Management, the largest waste collection company in North America. They pick up garbage. That's it. That's the business. And they are worth $70 billion. $70 billion from picking up garbage. Or look at Public Storage, the largest self-storage company in the world. They rent out empty rooms where people put their stuff. That's the entire business model, and they are worth $60 billion. These are not sexy businesses. They are not disruptive or innovative or cutting edge. They are boring, and they are incredibly, unimaginably profitable. But here is the key insight, the thing that most people miss. Boring businesses are not just profitable because they meet basic needs. They are profitable because they compound. They grow difficult to manage. You are not building a snowball. You are building a house of cards. Now, I want to be clear. I am not saying that innovation is bad, or that entrepreneurship is wrong, or that you should never take risks. What I am saying is that if your goal is to build wealth, if your goal is to create financial freedom, if your goal is to have the resources to live the life you want and to give generously to others, then boring businesses are often the smartest, safest, most reliable path to get there. In the book of Ecclesiastes, King Solomon, the wisest and wealthiest man who ever lived, writes, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. There is a time for innovation, and a time for imitation. There is a time for risk, and a time for reliability. There is a time for glamour, and a time for substance." And if you are just starting out, if you are looking to build your first million, if you want to create a foundation of wealth that will last, then this is the time for boring. So, how do you find boring business opportunities? How do you identify the next great mundane investment? Here is my framework. First, look for businesses that solve universal, timeless problems. Everyone needs food, shelter, transportation, storage, cleaning, waste removal. These needs have existed for thousands of years and will exist for thousands more. Second, look for businesses with predictable, recurring revenue. Monthly subscriptions, annual contracts, repeat customers. You want cash flow that you can count on, not one-time sales that you have to chase. Third, look for businesses with low maintenance and high barriers to entry. Once you build a storage facility, it runs itself. Once you establish a waste collection route, it's hard for competitors to break in. Fourth, look for businesses that benefit from scale. The more units you have, the more efficient you become. The larger you get, the stronger your competitive advantage. And finally, look for businesses that schools, hospitals, and retail stores all need regular cleaning. It's contract-based, predictable, and scalable. Parking lots and garages. In urban areas, parking is always in demand. You buy the land, pave it, and collect rent from every car. Portable toilet rentals. Construction sites, outdoor events, and festivals all need temporary bathroom facilities. It's not glamorous, but it's profitable. Property management. People own rental properties but don't want to deal with tenants. You handle the day-to-day operations and take a percentage of the rent. These are just a few examples. Once you start looking for boring businesses, you will see them everywhere. They are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with the wisdom to recognize their potential and the humility to pursue them. But remember, the key to success in boring businesses is not just identifying the opportunity. It's having the discipline to execute, the patience to compound, and the humility to put service before ego. In the Torah, there is a beautiful teaching about Moses, the greatest leader in Jewish history. When God first called Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses was not a king, or a warrior, or a wealthy merchant. He was a shepherd. He spent his days watching sheep, protecting them from predators, leading them to water and pasture. Boring work, humble work. But it was this experience as a shepherd that prepared him to shepherd a nation. The skills he learned in the wilderness, patience, vigilance, care for the weak, leadership without ego, these were the skills that made him the greatest leader of all time. His boring job was his training ground for greatness. This is the paradox of boring businesses. They teach you the skills you need to succeed in any business. Discipline, consistency, customer service, operational efficiency, financial management. They are not just a way to make money. They are a school for entrepreneurship. So here is my challenge to you. Solomon writes, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." Your pride, your need to be admired, your refusal to do boring work, these are the things that will keep you poor. But humility, service, and the willingness to do what others won't do, these are the things that will make you rich. So put your ego aside. Embrace the boring. Find a need that everyone has but no one wants to fill. Meet that need better than anyone else. Scale it, systematize it, compound it, and watch as your boring business quietly, steadily, inevitably makes you wealthy. Remember, you don't need to change the world to change your life. You just need to serve the world. And sometimes the best way to serve is to do the work that no one else wants to do. Shalom, my friends. May you have the wisdom to see opportunity where others see only boredom, and the humility to build wealth through service rather than status. Let me leave you with one final story, a story that perfectly illustrates the power of boring businesses and the danger of ego. There were two brothers in our community. Let's call them Jacob and Esau. Both were smart, hard-working, ambitious. They both wanted to build wealth and create financial freedom for their families. But they took very different paths. Jacob, the younger brother, had big dreams. He wanted to build the next great tech startup. He wanted to be on the cover of magazines, to give TED Talks, to be recognized as an innovator and a visionary. So he spent 2 years developing an app, a social platform for connecting local artists with buyers. It was a beautiful idea, well designed, thoughtfully executed. He raised some money from friends and family. He hired a small team. He launched with great fanfare. For the first few months, there was buzz. People downloaded the app. There were articles in the local press. Jacob felt like he was on his way. But then, the growth plateaued. Users stopped engaging. The revenue never materialized. The machine's clean and in good repair. He kept the place well lit and safe. He offered free Wi-Fi and comfortable seating. He hired a friendly attendant to help customers and keep the place tidy. He set fair prices and honored them consistently. Within 6 months, his laundromat was the busiest in the area. Within a year, he had saved enough profit to buy a second laundromat across town. Within 3 years, he owned 5 laundromats. And because the business was so systematized, so predictable, so boring, he was able to hire managers to run them while he focused on finding the next location. By the time Jacob was shutting down his failed startup, Esau owned 8 laundromats, generating over $400,000 a year in profit. He wasn't famous. He wasn't on the cover of any magazines. He wasn't giving TED Talks. But he was financially free. He had built a business that ran without him, that generated cash flow month after month, year after year, that he could eventually sell for millions of dollars. I saw Jacob a few months after he shut down his startup. He was working a regular job again, trying to rebuild his savings, trying to figure out his next move. And he said to me, "Rabbi, I don't understand. I worked so hard. I had such a good idea. Why did I fail while Esau succeeded with something as simple as a laundromat?" I looked at him and I said, "Jacob, you didn't fail because your idea was bad. You failed because you were building a business for your ego, not for your life. You wanted recognition more than you wanted results. You wanted to be admired more than you wanted to be wealthy. Esau succeeded because he put service before status. He chose substance over flash. He was willing to do boring work that created real value. And the world rewarded him for it. This is the lesson, my friends. The path to wealth is not paved with innovation and disruption and viral moments. It is paved with consistency, reliability, and service. It is paved with boring businesses. Boring business is not glamorous. It will not impress your friends. It will not feed your ego. But it will feed your family. It will build your wealth. It will create your freedom. And, in the end, freedom is worth far more than fame. Shalom, my friends. May you have the courage to choose substance over status, and the wisdom to build wealth through service.